be here with you. Thank you, Nivedita, for inviting me, and Jobin for sending those amazing promos. They're just, amazing. And I'm also amazed at your knowledge of music and the movies. Even when not asked, you're just pouring out with it. One of these days, I can imagine the scenario that Jobin is leading worship in the church, and he said, and he'll say, now this next song that we're going to sing together is the title song of Bahubali. And people will be looking amazed, and he'll say, Bahubali is found in 2 Kings, 3rd chapter, among the kings of Israel and Judah. That's how well his knowledge is, and that's how he merges his knowledge from various disciplines. And Jobin, thank you very much for the good introduction also. And you mentioned also, if you don't agree with Pramod, if you don't like what he says, write to this person called comments. There's another person called absent. You can write to him also. And thank you very much. I am a co-ghost here. Yeah, so just give me a second. I'll just have to share a presentation. And I just took liberty of calling this session as careers in crisis, because academic uncertainty, job uncertainty, all that, I just tried to put it together in a word called crisis. And we want to make this session very engaging and interactive. So there are some polls that Jobin has made, almost as good as the promos that he has made. And it's just amazing. So yes, so careers in crisis. What we will cover here is, the first thing is about our purpose, reconciling our faith and our career, because in times of crisis, you have to go back to your basics. And I very humbly want to tell you that every aspect of our life, just how Jobin merges his knowledge of films and music into his leadership in the church, we have to merge our Sunday and our Monday. Okay, not in the way Jobin does, but generally we have to merge it in a very purposeful way. So we'll talk about that. And planning for your career is a solid thing. You have to plan in such a way that it will weather many crises. Okay, and you have to plan early. We'll come to that. And then you have to grow. In no season of life should you stop growing. There is no excuse for not growing. Okay, so there is a discipline to growth, and there's a discipline to progress. So that's what we are covering now. We're covering purpose, planning, and progress. And the first thing we'll do is about reconciling Sunday and Monday. One day, as a HR manager, one of our top communication experts in the organization came over to my desk, and she said, I want 3 months leave. And that was a very busy time. There were a lot of press releases, everything like that. So I was surprised. And I said, Shamla, why 3 months? You're not, I knew her very well, so I didn't see any, but she said, no, I'm planning to go on an expedition, and anyone can just immediately guess what this is. I can't see the chat, so please help me. Anyone? Daniel, by the way, is the most polite and most well-behaved, polite, charming, approachable. I'll go on till you turned on your screen. Okay. So you can read out the chat if people will.
Yeah, sure, Ankur.
Yeah. So what have they said?
So far, we haven't had any responses. You can either send it to myself directly, Daniel Kumar.
Yeah, you can.
Everest is the response, Uncle.
Okay.
Everest, Himalayas.
Did Jobin also respond? Did he write from which movie? No? Okay.
Unfortunately, not yet, Uncle. I think it'll come soon.
So Shamla said that she wants to go on an expedition to Everest. I was really baffled and shocked. And she did. She took 3 months off, and she went there. She gave me so much information about Everest. And at that point of time, she had a chart which said there were 18 different routes you could take to climb the Everest. And then, of course, she couldn't make it. She went to base camp and came back. But then around, when was that huge earthquake in Nepal? About 4 years back, 2015 or 16. Yeah. And it was such an earthquake that people, eyewitnesses said that the whole of the Mount Everest shook like a dog that shakes after having a bath. And all these routes were rearranged, Shamla told me later. And the whole topography of the mountain changes. And she says, now anyone who climbs the mountain soon after that earthquake will be climbing in uncertainty. But she gave me a lot of fascinating information about it. And I was in touch with her. When she came back, even though she didn't reach the summit, she had so much interesting narratives to explain. And she said certain things that are so much you can apply it to your careers also. She said sometimes to go up, you're going down. So they're going down a crevice, whereas they know that they need to go up somewhere, but that's part of the larger purpose. They always have their purpose in mind. She said there are times when they're walking towards, looks like they're walking to climb Everest, but they're walking with the Everest behind them. That's how it is with careers also. That's how it is with your purpose also. Your purpose, your North Pole is there in your life. I want to tell you, my friends, that, after this, we'll have the first poll, but I want to tell you that, firstly, that there is a purpose why each one of us are here in this world. And our purpose is all encompassing. It encompasses every part of our life. And every one of you have an Everest to climb. And the way Shamla went about it with so much, she was in her 40s, okay? And she did so much of physical training. A 10th floor of the apartment, she would be able to climb that 5 times during a day. That was part of her regimen, by the steps, not by the elevator. But she was so driven by her purpose. We all have a purpose. We have to discover that purpose, and we have to work very focusedly towards that purpose. It may look as though we are not going in that right direction, but we know in our mind, in our heart, that we're moving towards that North Pole. Anyway, if you can put up the first poll, Jobin, if you don't mind, I just want to ask you, what would you do if you unexpectedly, suddenly it happens, today is a holiday, if I had an unexpected holiday, I would. And if you could quickly answer that poll, and it's all anonymous, so you could answer. Okay, is it ended? Or, oh, it's no need 1 minute long. You can end it in a couple of more seconds, give people to answer. So I think the top so far is curl up in bed, watch my favorite TV shows, 44%. Oh, it's rapidly changing, but that seems to be the leader. And the very next best is call my friends, plan for a day trip. And then you have, make it a perfect day, physical exercise, intellectual input and all that. And catch up on my sleep and spend the major part of the day reading God's word and praying, etc. Very good. Okay, so you can end the poll. I will just go on with my presentation. So I was doing a career seminar in a church, and I asked the guys there. By the way, the parents also were there, but they were sitting very scared at the back of the seminar. They thought I will attack them because I'm known to cite the youth. So but they were sitting at the back, and I'm not able to change. Yeah. And I asked them this question as to, what are your priorities in life? That was, I put it, of course, in a much more friendly way. And they came up with so many different answers. Can I raise my... So yeah, they came up with all these answers, friends, entertainment, wealth, health, work, God, sports, food. Hyderabad is a place where, food is very important. So many guys wrote food. They wrote more specific foods, halim and biryani and all that. And some wrote family. But very interestingly, I did the same survey with the parents. There are enough people to take that survey. And after that, I've done this survey in many places where I'm doing the career, and what are your priorities in life? And here's what the unanimous answer from all parents came. And I'm grateful to all those kids who answered all those other things. I'm so glad that you're honest. But the parents, very interestingly, in the young people's survey, it was all over the place. All these things were coming and more. But the parents' survey had 3 things very specifically. The top 3 was your relationship with God. The next was your family. and the third was your work or career. Now, I want to give you a definition of parents and elders. Some of us, we resent the way they interfere in our careers, the way they tell us what to do and all that. But the definition of parent is someone who's been through so many tough experiences in life and don't want you to go to make the same mistakes that they did. That I would say is a definition. Another definition of parents, someone who loves you and knows you. So it is with God. Unanimously, the parents came up with this. This should be your priority. It's not about merging Sunday and Monday. It is about, giving your relationship with God the top priority, because God created you. God loves to fellowship with you. God has a purpose with you. And you are not well off. You may be the CEO of a huge company. Okay. And I know some CEOs personally. If I have time, I can tell you the stories. But they also are struggling to find purpose. Because when you reach the pinnacle, when you reach a normal Mount Everest, which is not your purpose in life, you are still dissatisfied. Okay. But God has a purpose for each one of us. And you have to discover that purpose. There's a verse in the Bible, Luke 2:52, then Jesus grew in wisdom and in stature and in favor with God and man. And the purpose is divided. It can be seen in many aspects. Your physical pursuits, your health and your fitness, your mental pursuits, your intellectual stimulation, your social pursuits with your relationships. But in favor with God is your spiritual or your godly relationship pursuits. So that is numero uno. The second thing is, many people in their quest and in their thing, they put sometimes work before family. But family lasts longer than work. By the way, when God created man and then created family, he did not create Microsoft and Oracle and Google and Facebook. Those institutions are all man-made. But the institution of family was created by God. And that is more long-lasting. That's more meaningful. That institution is what should also take our second priority. And this is not what I'm saying. I'm telling you, I've conducted this survey for hundreds of parents who have, seen life, what is, and they say, this is the best priority. Don't get upset because, oh, why are you saying what parents are telling us? No, it's not that. It's they've fallen in a lot of ditches and all that, and they've got up and dusted themselves. They don't want us to fall in the same things. And that's why this is a sacred priority. God, family, work. Discover your purpose. There is a way, Proverbs says, that seems right to man, but in the end it leads to destruction. That is true of any super successful person in the eyes of the world who has not discovered his or her purpose. So keep this thing in mind. I don't want to get too preachy. But I just want to say, there is a purpose in your life. Now let's go into planning your career. You can put the second poll, Jobin. They're just 3 polls. At the end of the 3 polls, just a few things, and then we'll be done. So you can put the second poll, and please tell me, because I don't have my cell phone near me, if I'm going too far. We can stop at any point of time, okay? That's the same question as the first one. I want the second one.
Can you see the second one? I've scrolled it down.
I don't know. The others can say. I'm seeing the first one. I'm sure Daniel will say, because you're the host, you'll only see one.
No, if you just scroll down, I think all 3 are in one panel.
Yeah.
Okay. So you can answer the second question now. Thank you so much. As you're answering, I'll tell you. So I'm telling you that it's not that just people who reach the top are hunky-dory. You have to know your purpose. Following your purpose is what gives you the greatest joy in your life. And all these ups and downs will not bother you if you know you are following your purpose. I told you, to go up to the summit, sometimes Shamla had to go down into deep crevices. Anyway, so I just want to see how the trends are. 51% say that they follow other ways of, if anyone can mention that in the chat, it will be great. I'll come back. But the next is 19% follow the parents, 10% both following the trends in school and colleges and career guidance seminars like this one, hopefully. Anyway, so yes, so has anyone put in the chat when you mean by others, the 12 of you who have said others, if you can also put it in the chat, what do you mean? And this amazingly polite person will kindly read it out to
Okay.
us. Yeah.
Yes, Uncle. So one response is based on personal interests.
Based on personal
So
interest. Very good.
still waiting for more to come in.
Okay. Okay.
That seems to be a recurring one. And also financial problems that make us.
So true. So true. Financial problems, And Jobin, what is that movie? I'm just testing Jobin's knowledge, okay? Where there's this guy, it's based on a true story. He has severe financial problems, and his wife leaves him and goes. And then he's in a stockbroker's firm and he just struggles. And it's a true story. And without any finances, he's selling these huge contraptions, machines.
Pursuit of Happiness.
Thank you. Yeah, I was just testing you. I knew the story, but yes, you came out well. Your knowledge of movies is really amazing, and I hope your knowledge of the Bible also is as good as that. And yes, so if in that particular movie you'll see, that finances really doesn't matter. There are ways of planning. You have to plan your career. But even before I tell you about planning your career, I want to tell you about, hey, sorry.
There were a few more responses if you would like to hear that.
Yeah, please go ahead.
So based on videos that they have seen, going against the trends that are there.
Okay.
And
going against
also,
the trend. Just for the sake of going against the trends, or?
Yes, I could read out that comment to you.
Okay.
Going against the normal trend rebelliously.
Okay. Wow. Going against the normal, that's how many people choose their career. And to be honest, my dad was a principal of the school, and it was very difficult for me to go with the trends, because everyone expected that principal's son should be, at that time is the vice principal, should be, on the top. And also I, in my rebelliousness, I chose a college which at that point of time, I'm not saying now, was not too focused on academics, but more on fun and extracurricular activities. So all the way from Hyderabad, I came to a college in Tambram. I will not name the college. It's in East Tambram, but and there is a hall there called Heba Hall. But I chose that. I will not name the college because I don't want to name and shame. But I chose that, and it was rebellious. So I can understand you, dear friend. But here I was sitting in the Hyderabad bus stand, which is called Imliban. Some people call it Taliban, but it's actually Imliban. Okay. And there we were going for a youth retreat in Mysore, and I was taking a young person with me. And he asked me, Uncle, I didn't like it when he said uncle. I said, please call me Anna. And he said, but uncle, what is the difference between a job and a career? This guy, he was planning to go into the IFS, Foreign Service. But soon in his college itself, he got a job in a great company, and he phoned me and he invited me for lunch. I thought he was inviting me home, but he invited me for lunch in his cafeteria where there's free food. And there was a lot of perks. He said, I got a laptop, I got the cell phone, I got all these things. He was very excited. I said, Selvin, what happened to your dream of IFS? And he said, now I got this job, and so I'm happy. So that was in that background. He asked me the difference between job and career. And we were sitting here. And I think my children think I'm a big show off, but I think I come up with some good illustrations sometimes. Okay. And so I said, Selvin, which is the bus that we are taking to go for that youth retreat? That was towards Mysore. And it was something like that. And I said, Selvin, which is the most attractive bus here? And he pointed to a bus which was going to Vijayawada. And it was really very posh and attractive. So I said, let's get into this bus. He said, no, no, uncle, we are going to Mysore. No, we'll go in that bus. I said, no, but this is the most attractive bus, right? So then he knows that I do all these trick things. So he was thinking, he says, yeah, I got what you mean. We get attracted with the immediate. He got attracted with the salary and the perks and all, but that was not his interest in life. A career is a long-term fulfillment of your aspirations, your aptitudes, your talents, and the best fulfillment of all that. It is close to the overall purpose of your life. And just because your career does not immediately give you all the posh perks and benefits and a free cafeteria and all, That does not mean you should leave your destination and jump onto something. So he caught on and said, okay, I can understand the difference between a job and a career. And then he said, okay, what if I took this bus, Anna, and halfway through I realized that I want to actually go on to the other bus. I said, there are ways. It's better late than never. But there was a survey in the United States, actually all over the world, of top people who are successful in their various fields. And it came out in their survey that the earlier you plan for your career, the further you begin to go. And that they said that all these people, there was one common thing. They knew what was their career in their 9th grade, and they did not get flayed. And why 9th grade? I thought about it for a long time, and I have an answer. It may be true, it may not be true. But the reason why 9th grade is a finalize your career is because it's before 10th grade. And not so simple. Is because 10th grade is after which you actually begin to specialize in most education systems around the world. So the earlier you begin, the farther you go. The thing is, the more you prepare for your journey, the more enjoyable your journey becomes. The other day I went for a church picnic, and horrible the way they prepared for it. We went there and that place was closed, and then they said, okay, we'll sit on the road and have breakfast. And I said, what's for breakfast? They brought bread and jam. They didn't even bring a knife. So he was putting his dirty finger and spreading the jam on the bread. Very horrible planning. When you don't plan, actually anything in life does not become enjoyable. So there is this great doctor. Okay, he was sitting with a heart surgeon, cardiac surgeon. He was sitting with his group. Doctors plan before a surgery, and it was a very complicated case. And he said, I've seen this case before. And someone in that group asked him, when did you see it? And he said, I saw it about 35 years ago. And they started laughing. And some of them who knew it started laughing and said, no, it can't be. He said, why are you laughing? Because 35 years ago, you were in school. He said, yeah, I saw this case when I was in school. When I was in my 7th grade, I asked my parents whether I can do some summer internship in the hospital. 7th grade, it's the true story. And they humored him, and they took him to the local hospital, and they said, can he work here during the summers? They didn't give him a work as a doctor. They gave him a work as a janitor. And he was kind of sweeping. He was sweeping the place. But as he goes, because patients love to talk, he was finding out about patients, what are their symptoms. He was talking to the doctors. He was reading the case sheets clipped onto the bed. And he was preparing himself because he knew what he had to become. The more you prepare yourself. And he says, when I was in my 9th grade, I saw a similar case. And so this case is not new to me. Amazing preparation. You have to plan for your career, and it is hard work. I know Daniel in the introduction, he said in his beautiful, polite way, but he said every one of us wants a career where we don't have to work too much. It's more like fun. And that is true. But even to create fun, believe me, when we are creating fun events, there is hard work. So the earlier you begin, the further you go, the more you prepare, the more enjoyable the journey, the harder you work, the better the results. That is very much applicable for your career. So I talked to you about a career and a job. One more thing I want to tell you, you should know where you're going, because Winnie the Pooh says, before beginning a long journey, it is wise to know where you're going. Then you'll know that you have arrived there. Now, this is an actual garden in somewhere north of London. And people spend a lot of time there trying to figure, they pay to go in there and get lost. And then they go on to these elevated places and they think they know the way, but when they go down again, they're lost. Sometimes we are lost like that. Sometimes people feel lost. Believe me, as a HR person, I've spoken to people even with 20 years experience. They say they don't know where they're going in their career. They don't know where they are. It's true. And I just want to tell you, this is a typical puzzle. Can anyone tell me if this is number 1 path, this is number 2, number 3? I'll finish in just a few minutes, Jobin. Maybe taking a little, but this is in my heart and I want to tell you. which is the fastest way? Which is it, number 1, number 2, or number 3? To the right of the mouse, where the knife is number 1, where the apron is number 2, where the fork is number 3. Which is the fastest way?
4 people so far has said number 1.
Number 1, is it?
5. One person has said
Can
number
you-
3.
One person has said number 3. Let me actually put my finger and do that. And can any of you guess what I'm doing?
One person
Any of
says
you?
just on the grass
On the grass. Okay, that is
without
creative.
using the
Number
path.
1 is the right answer, because number 2 and number 3 lead back to each other. Okay, and the best way that you can find out, can anyone tell me what is the smartest way to find the cheese here for the mouse? The smartest way is to actually begin from the cheese, because there is one way. So in your career, you have to visualize where you want to be. It's not a stupid question that these HR people ask you. Where do you want to be down the line? You can visualize, and I've done visualization exercises with people. I make them sit and says, so, okay, 15 down the line, where will you be? In which city of the world? How will you be going to work? When you reach your work, what will you do? Whom will you call? What will you be writing? What will you be typing? And I ask them to visualize and then work backwards to lead there. There are 3 questions that will help you in your planning. Okay, and I want to leave those 3, of course, to choose your career. I'll come to those 3 questions later. Sorry about it. You have to, I've encouraged so many kids, because I do career seminars in rural schools. Everyone has an ambition, but it starts with, you should have knowledge of the various fields. You can't just think like in childhood, we just say, I want to be an airplane, I want to be a pilot, or I want to be an engine driver. We don't have enough knowledge about it, but you should study it. And not just knowledge, but you should understand that a little bit, make friends with people who are in that. And then you get insights into that particular career, and you'll get insights into who you are. You do a personal SWOT. How will this look? What are the trends? And then, you can choose your career. I've encouraged 8th and 9th standard, even 7th standard students to make a scrapbook. You can start a folder or something, putting in all the relevant information, and then your understanding by talking, discussing, brainstorming with different people, including your parents, and then getting insights out of it. It's not a joke, friends. You can't just choose your career ladder. You spend a majority of your day in your career. Okay, and that can make and break, and there is a purpose that you're made for. You have to choose it very wisely. And now we'll come to the 3rd one. I don't know whether there is time for a poll. How are we with time? If there's no time, I'll just go ahead and...
We can go till 7 now with the talk.
Okay,
7.
what is the time now?
6:47.
6:40. Okay, quickly you can put up the poll.
Yeah, cool.
It's the 3rd question. Some of you may have answered it already. So, and then I will tell you how we can grow. And I'm giving you some practical tips as to what is happening in 2021, 2020, 2000. The best way to succeed in your career, we all want to grow, is you could get your company to send you abroad, get a master's degree in a foreign university, stay in touch with your boss's boss. Many people have get many degrees and certifications, lifelong learning. It could be anything else also. If you have something on your mind, you can chat it there. Okay, foreign university seems to be a very popular thing. Get many degrees and certification is actually the most popular. It's between these two. It's a toss-up between these two. Okay, so, and yeah, maybe some other things are coming. But let me just move on here. So, see, the key is that there is no end to learning. And actually, if you thought that college life ends, the learning ends with your college life, we are horribly wrong. By now, you've realized it. It is lifelong learning. In fact, Peter Senge said in his book, The Fifth Discipline, he said that the greatest corporations of the future, and he said this in 1974, are beginning to resemble universities. And the universities are beginning to resemble corporate houses, which means careers and learning are intimately wedded to each other. Learning is an essential part of your career. And so you have to continuously be agile and learning. These are the three questions that I want you to answer. And it doesn't matter whether you're in a crisis or in a normal mode. If you're having your purpose, and if you have planned, and if you're going on a path of progress, doesn't matter the ups and downs. So you should know what is your cheese, what is your final destination. I told you, you should be able to visualize it. And there are three pillars on which your vision will stand. It's not just education qualification. It is your skills and it is your experience. And by the way, you can get all this right from the time you're studying. Skills are different from degrees or textbooks. Okay. And experience is you can get it by listening and befriending and getting mentored by people. You don't have to experience and make a mistake to learn from that mistake. You can get experience, wisdom from other people. So these are the three pillars. And then you should say, what is my immediate next step? After this session, I want you to think, what is the immediate next step you will do? After you realize what is your cheese, don't start with what is my immediate next step and then decide what is my cheese. Anyway, coming back to it, you know, we look at various recruiters, and there's this company called Hayes. They said these are the skills that are very much needed in 2021. I believe the companies which send their job description, which is common for many different kind of jobs, 55% of them write about communication skills. And 53% of them say they want people who have the ability to adopt change, you know, and 45% of them say they want people who have a systematic scientific approach to problem solving. 43% are looking in the job descriptions, they're looking for flexibility and adaptability. You can't say, I learned this, so I can't do this. And people management skills is also an all-time favorite. 41% in the job descriptions. By the way, it's not just that if you are the boss that you should have people management skills. It's needed. Nowadays, the organizations have a matrix structure. So you're dealing with people anyway. You got to influence people anyway. You got to lead people anyway, even though you are in the hierarchy in the bottom. And by the way, the hierarchy structure is obsolete. And on this, there is a foundation of other skills which actually build these 5 skills. Okay. And those other skills are emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is very, very savvy. You know the marshmallow experiment, right? So they ask these little kids, you can either take 1 marshmallow now, or you could wait for after the class and take 2. And the ones who had the ability to control their feelings and their emotions went far in life. This was an experiment done in the 60s. You know that emotional intelligence is really, really important. Please read, if you can't read the whole book, read summaries of book by Daniel Goleman. Emotional intelligence, his latest book, Focus, is also very important. Then there is a spirit of continuous learning. Don't say, no, I can't learn this. We tell lies to ourselves. Sometimes our teachers tell lies saying you can't learn these things. No, you can learn. Sales and presentation skills are important in any job. Resilience, the ability. I know one guy who was really down and out. He was getting lashed, tongue lashed and whipped by his bosses in UK. And he was still going about his job without giving up. I thought if I was in his place, I would have resigned. He said, Pramod, I've developed a thick skin, a buffalo skin. Even with these strong things, I will not give up. I'll still do, and maybe I'll get better. Resilience is important. And tech skills are very, very important in any job. Even if you're hosting, you know, a session like this, you need to be tech savvy. Very important. So just one more slide and I'll close. That might get a little technical, but I just, out of my love and concern for you, I want to leave this for you. What are the top 10 skills in 2021, which are future proof? Whenever you're planning for your career, you have to think of what is future proof. This might be a little technical, but you don't mind. You might think in a seminar like this, don't get so technical, just talk generic. No, but I just want to. I've seen many articles on this. I like this, so I wanted to share it with you. Now, the first thing is, I want to say, these are top skills for the future. You know, coding is very important. I've had many youths says, no, I'm not I'm not good in programming, and I don't want to do anything of it. Programming is not as complicated. In fact, the latest trend is low code and no code platforms where you don't have to learn much programming. You know, Whitehead Junior, which was acquired by Baiju, I think, teaches kids of 7th standard, 6th standard, even 5th standard, they're allowing. And they're able to learn. They've actually made programs, whole chunks of programs into like building blocks. It's like learning Lego. So many of the programming is simple like that. So don't stare at me. If you have not, it's easy. It's not too difficult to learn Python, Java, HTML, PP, PHP, SQL, Ruby. It's not too difficult. I had this experience with my son who was looking for an internship in his university in Boston, and he was not getting internship. So finally he listened to me, or he realized on his own. So he did some Python and he did MATLAB, and it's not so easy. You can do it in a few sessions. Now the trend is, you know, micro degrees and, you know, these quick courses and certifications. So you can learn. In fact, I'm doing a work now. I'm 54. You know, I'm actually building a no-code platform in natural solutions language. And I'm learning many of these things that I've told you. And it's made a change to me, how people look at me. People used to look at me as an illiterate. But when I learn these things, and it just takes a couple of weeks, you know, people are looking at me differently, and I can write small codes and small solutions. And I'm really happy with that. So I want to encourage you to do that. Number two, the cloud is something that you can't ignore. There's so much in the cloud. You know, there's so many customer relations, CRM solutions. There's so many SaaS options. There's SaaS is software as a service. There's so many tools. In any company, wherever you are, you learn some tools, you are king or queen, I'm telling you. And in the cloud, there's so many tools. So whatever field you have chosen with careful planning, go into the cloud and learn some of these free tools and software. Number three is big data is very important. You have to know how to do number crunching, how to do analytics. These are not very tough words. I'm telling you, if you know that, you can get ahead in your career like crazy. I want to leave this slide with you so that you can look at it. But if you are not able to really understand what big data is, you're suffering in your career, and that's why you're suffering. Because in any field, you know how to organize your data, how to do some number crunching, how to do some analytics, get out some solutions, some analytics, and show your people, your peers, and your bosses, they'll be bamboozled by you. So don't ignore the big data. And learning another language, not just programming language. I'm telling you, this is a skill that is required. I was driving down to Bangalore from Hyderabad, and there's a huge place in Anantapur where Kia Motors has put up their factory. And I believe there is a requirement for people who know how to speak Korean, because there's a huge South Korean community there, and they have to get along translators. Just learning another language can boost your career. I was working in the French company, and I had to brush up my French, which I couldn't learn in MCC. Oops, I told the college name. But I had to brush up, and it makes a difference, especially if you're looking for international careers. It can boost your career, and it can make you really, you know, useful. That's a hot skill. Don't just sit in your seat and say, I will not do anything. Someone has to revive my career, and I'm very worried, and there's a crisis, and there's so much academic uncertainty. No, learn these skills. Number five, data analysis, a little more than that, is actually search engine optimization. And you need it for in any field. Believe me, we opened our church website 2 weeks back, and we want people to be, when they search Kukatpalli Church, they have to find our website, you know, and so we use some SEO skills, and we are still using it. You need search engine optimization in any field. And if you pick up those little skills, it can be done in a few days' time, I'm telling you. Some techniques for search engine optimization that will also boost your skills in your career. Number six, if you're able to write well, I'm telling you, I was blessed because my dad was an English teacher, later on turned principal. So I'm able to articulate things little well. And now in my company, Even the content writers come to me before something has to be released, and so writing skills is very important. Even if you're writing an email, or you're writing some content, or you're writing for a website, or you're writing anything, you boost your writing skills, your career also will be boosted. Don't write with all your spelling mistakes and all say, no one is helping me in my career. Okay, your horrible grammar and spelling mistakes, don't do that. Brush up your writing skills. It never goes out of your fashion. And then the ability to leverage social media. Okay, when I say social media, it's not just taking your phone and going on scrolling and having fun the whole day. Know how to engage with social media, leverage social media, know how to find things in through your social media, know how to advertise your skills in social media. Do leverage social media well, and you'll do really well. Number 8, in any job, selling is important. The ability to convince people, your communication, it'll never go out of fashion. You should be able to do that. Brush up those skills. Once again, I'm telling you, please don't be upset with me that I'm speaking in maybe a derisive tone. But really, if you don't have these skills, you can't complain that your career is not going anywhere. You have to brush up these skills. Logistics is a huge thing for the future. I'm telling you now, sitting in your home, because of the logistics, advancements in logistics, you're able to get everything from a pin to an aircraft almost, and that's the logistics world. What are those key skills in the logistic domain? The jobs in logistics are just exploding, and you can't ignore that. And that is another way. And even in your own careers where you are, there could be a logistics element to it, or you could make logistics your career separately, or you can add logistics to whatever you're doing. And I'm telling you, it will be a boost. Number 10, and I'm stopping there. You should be able to make great presentations. Your ability with don't just stick with PowerPoint. You should be able to make XD files. You have to do animation. You have to do some graphic designing. And, you should be able to make great presentations with human machine interaction, etc. And great videos. And like how Jobin does, I'll have to start with Jobin and end with Jobin, and you'll do it. But I just want to tell you once again, discover, do it in this order, please. Discover your purpose in life. I'll stop my presentation and I'll just tell you, you can see my horrible face. But very earnestly, I want to tell you, discover your purpose in life. Plan very carefully. It's never too late to plan. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And third, just go with the process of growth. Progress is very important. Whatever is the thing, you should be better than the person that you were last year. You should be more skillful, more educated, more qualified, more experienced, and you should be better than that. And God will bless you in your careers. Don't get flustered by what is happening around you. Just stick to these tips and you'll do well. God bless you very much. Thank you, and sorry for the late.